Then Terry returned to the NWA, albeit WCW's version of it, in May of 89 at WrestleWar 89 in Nashville. So he's not in this, but this would be the third of the big famous trilogy between Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat. After Flair won back the NWA World title, Terry Funk entered the ring to congratulate Flair. And what followed would be one of the all-time great pro wrestling angles. Initially respectful, Funk challenged Flair to a match, which Flair replied saying he had been spending too much time in Hollywood and was not a top contender. Funk's demeanor immediately changes. He snaps. He beats down Flair, punctuating it with a devastating pile driver on the table. Add to it, Flair had a lot of well-known neck injuries, and he sold it like he might be paralyzed. And this one incident set up Flair versus Funk as the hottest feud of the year, and that is not a turn of phrase. Terry Funk, who started wrestling in 1965, was about to have the feud of the year in pro wrestling in 1989, literally PWI and Wrestling Observer feud of the year.
The interaction that these two men had at the end of this match should be fucking studied. And also, too, the whole setup. Like, they knew what they were going to get to at the end after the match. They knew there'd be a beatdown and all that stuff. But the way that Terry plays it in the beginning, and he's out there for this match, this classic match between Steamboat and Flair, and just the way that Terry's very polite all the way, you know. But then, like, after this match, he gets very excited, very ramped up, and then he's in there in the ring with Flair. And the idea of, like, you can kind of see this old man he wants to be a part of, like, oh, I'd really like to have a date with you. You know, and like maybe we set up a date, you know, or I challenge you for that title. And you know what, like, this is what infuriates me, because Flair, he became like such a caricature, which people loved, and that was great, and I get it. But like the whole thing of Flair going, you know, you spent a lot of time in Hollywood. I don't think you're really part of the rankings. Like, just that subtle thing where he wasn't trying to be a dick, but it came off as a dick, to which then that disrespected Terry. And just the level of, okay, Terry should have been pissed off, and Terry could have just pushed him. They had to pull apart and would have been ever, and then Terry would have been kind of the good guy out of it. But because Terry took it so far overboard, that made him the bad guy, you know, and then made you want to see Flair kick his ass. But also, too, like, Flair just got done being a heel with Ricky Steamboat, and now you've turned him to like the baby face in this whole angle. Everybody's out there just cutting promos, trying to pop the crowd, pop Twitter, pop social media, have a cool phrase to clown somebody, roast somebody, show how much cooler you are. And you're like, well, I just roasted you, with no concept of I was supposed to be the bad guy in this. People were supposed to cheer for you, not me. People were supposed to be upset when I won or when I beat you up. Like, they're just out there just saying whatever lines they want to get themselves over, and not even thinking about, like, where are we trying to get to? And that's what the art of, like, just wrestling is in general, is getting that emotion and pulling that out. And these men execute it perfectly. And just the interaction after this match should be fucking taught in every fucking wrestling school, and should be told to wrestlers. Every time you talk on a microphone, you need to create this. This should be the building blocks of what talking on a microphone is. It's not just you to say some cool line that people are going to pop on, or just roast somebody for the sake of fucking roasting somebody so you look cooler than the other guy, or because you got this cool fucking line in because this is fucking roast battle. It's fucking not roast battle. It's about, this is the good guy, this is the bad guy, and then we got to get people to get behind that whole concept. And that's part of the reason why it's the feud of the year, is because it's just set up perfectly. You understand how we got there, and it was slow. It was deliberate. It got there. It all made sense. And then when the violence was violent, it mattered.
So after a few TVs, Funk was back on the road for 89's Great American Bash Tour, primarily working with Sting. Obviously, Flair is selling the neck injury, so they can't be fighting the whole time. Terry ended that tour with a heavyweight title shot at Flair at the actual Great American Bash pay-per-view 89, in a wild brawl that included interference from Great Muta, Flair being saved by Sting. After the match, Flair begins a promo with, "I haven't said thank you in 10 years. And I was like, that explains some of those divorces.
Yeah, he hasn't said, "I'm sorry I fucked your sister" in a while either.
He did say thank you, though. He did say
No,
thank you.
I feel like he'd get done having sex with a woman and go, "You're welcome."
Oh, yeah. No, definitely that.
That happened for sure. Flair and Terry would finish up summer and go well into fall facing each other on the house show circuit, just printing money. They were obviously using TV to build the feud in between, and that includes Terry Funk running in on a Flair and Sting versus Dick Slater and Muta match September 12th, a Clash of Champions 8, where Terry fulfills the dreams of not only Jake Manning, but many a server in Charlotte, North Carolina, by putting a plastic bag over Rick's head and suffocating him.
Yeah, factual. You know, Nick? Best writing. You started with the worst writing, and then you end with the best writing. Factual, accurate, and funny. Beautiful.
That actually got Terry suspended, in kayfabe, by WCW. He appealed it, and he was back. And he was back for 89's Halloween Havoc, where Funk and Muta took on Flair and Sting with special guest ref Bruno Sammartino in a Thunderdome cage match, which was apparently electrified. And it's full of electricity there because it fucking caught on fire as they were lowering it, and Muta had to put it out with his mist. But it did put it out.
How does the Japanese mist work? Do they sip some water beforehand, or are they just keeping spit?
Did you not see the Great Muta commercial tape released by All Japan where he went to hell and fought the devil and won?
Okay, this is how. I see. Okay.
Yeah, that's how.
The finish for this is kind of important. The finish is Terry in a figure 4 leg lock as Sting splashes down on top of him. So they were doing this throw in the towel thing. Gary Hart's managing Terry, Ole with Flair. Ole decks Gary, which causes the towel to fly up into the air onto Bruno's shoulder, so he calls the match. But the thing is that Terry's knee took a massive amount of damage here because he was in the figure 4 for so long. And that is going to play into the blow-off, which is the I Quit match. November 15th, 1989, Clash of Champions 9, Troy, New York. Dramatic. Both men beat the hell out of each other. That ends also in a very long figure 4 leg lock until Terry screams, "I quit." And with this, Terry Funk had taken what could have just been a late career footnote and again proved he was one of the best wrestlers on the planet.